Howdy folks, I am Casey LaCourse and I am the host of this video showcase called Hearts of the West. It's cowboy poetry, western poetry, country music, western music, and sometimes I bring in my friends from Australia and they're always a great addition and add a lot to my showcases. Now today I'm going to start this off with a new poem I just wrote, and it is, as always, the pioneer women. They were the backbone of America, I believe, and they still are. They still are. And this is called My Truth. I drink till I'm tired, so memories don't blind me. It's not what ladies do, but you see, I'm a tough one, and this I say to you, I've rode and traveled many a trail. The wind is my companion. Never had a wedding veil. My palomino and my gun are my only friends. I'll cut you down with a name that's true. I tell you, son, draw on me, and there's no doubt you'll surely lose. 'Cause I'm a woman, but cowboy through and through. So let me drink and leave me be. I know you, and I know me. To survive this pioneer life, I'm accustomed to being on my own. No need to wonder or suppose. I'm alone, not lonely. It's my life, the lot I chose. All right, folks, see you back here in a couple of weeks. Stay safe out there.
Folks, this is John Pelham down in Granbury, Texas, and thank KC again for making these things possible for us. We really appreciate it, KC. Back in the olden days, as my grandkids say, in the 40s and 50s, on a little stock farm down in South Texas, Central Texas, down close to Waco. And after graduating from A&M, I served some time in the Army and decided I was going to be an ag teacher, and instead I ended up going into extension as a 4-H agent. And I spent the next 30 years or so in different extension positions in Texas, and retired a few years ago from the University of Missouri Extension. I got interested in writing some poetry, and for the most part, the first several years, and still most of what I do now, is autobiographical, about being involved in agriculture in some degree and rural life, and what it was like to do that work as a kid on the farm back years ago. One of the first poems I wrote was a poem that sort of described my early ambitions, called I'll Always Be a Cowboy. And I'd like to do it for you now. Well, I never rode drag following a herd, and I never ate cookies chow, and I've never pulled second watch, and I was never chased by a longhorn cow, but I've always been a cowboy. I've never headed off a stampede, and I never made a living with reins in my hand. And I may never hear the call of a wolf as he runs wild on the land, but I'll always be a cowboy. A small FFA Hereford herd was about the most cattle I ever run, and my remuda was never more than an old mare named Cricket, a much-weathered old dun. But I was always a cowboy. Because you see, cowboys ain't known by what they own or what they do. There's so much more than that, with traits both strong and true. When the chips are down and the going's real tough, a cowboy can be counted on to stand with you, tall and rough. If you want somebody who's trustworthy and whose word is always his deed, just hunt yourself up a cowboy, because honesty is always his creed. You got hard work under the worst of conditions. Well, a hard scrabble life is a cowboy's tradition. You want poor wages, long hours, and sorry grub, miles from town and the nearest country club? Well, conditions like these describe the cowboy as we've come to know him, and they just not much about hard life that you could teach or show him. Worthy of trust, hard worker, steadfast, honest, and true blue. Whatever our lot in life might be, may these traits always describe me and you, and we can all be cowboys.
Howdy! Hearts of the West is about to kick off here, and I'm so glad to be part of it. Thank you, Casey LaCourse. You know what you do for us cowgirl singers and cowboy singers and cowboy poets and girls, of course. We thank you for keeping the West alive. So here goes Hearts of the West. And thank you so much for keeping us all kicking and yahooing. Adios, yodel-o-tee. You know, Wash and I are going to go on the road together, you know.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. What are we going to be called, Wash?
Well, I'll tell you what, she is known as the little bitty lady with a great big voice.
I'm glad you said it was the voice.
Voice. Ladies and gentlemen, Peggy Malone!
Can you hear me out there? Got the guitar? I can't hear you. Here we go. Do you think they yodel in heaven? Do you think they yodel on high? Do you think they yodel in heaven? Way up in that sweet by and by. I can just see old St. Peter standing with his harp in his hand. But I ain't going through them pearly gates if I don't hear a good Western band. This has happened before, folks. Thank you, sir. That's Craig. Give him a hand. Woo-hoo! Now they say there's music up yonder, angels, trumpets, and such. Now that's just fine for most folks. But me, I need a Western touch. Twin fiddles, guitars, and mandolins. Upright bass will have such a time. Throwing a Roy Rogers, oh-de-lo-dee. Heaven will suit me just fine. Oh-de-lee, oh-de-lo, oh-de-lee. Talk about heaven, where the streets are paved with pure gold. Friends and family will greet you. These things we've often been told. One thing I know I'll be a-missing. Dear Lord would bring me to my knees beside a chorus of angels. Oh, let me hear a Western yodel, please. Oh-de-lee, oh-de-loo, oh-de-lee. Sweet sound of Western swing music, right? As I pass through that heavenly door, may my picking and grinning friends greet me, the ones who passed long before. What a joy it'll be for little old me. That reunion will be so divine. Throwing a yodel where Rogers yodel, and heaven will suit me just fine. Now I hope they yodel in heaven, don't you? I sure hope they yodel on high. Oh, I sure hope they yodel in heaven, way up in that sweet by and by. I can just see old St. Peter standing, can you? With his harp in his hand. But I ain't going through them pearly gates if I don't don't hear a good Western band. No, I ain't going through them pearly gates if I don't hear a good Western band. Oh,